بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله وكفى وسلام على عباده الذين اصطفى أما بعد فأعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم وإن تعدوا نعمة الله لا تحصوها وقال تعالى لئن شكرتم لأزيدنكم ولئن كفرتم إن عذابي لشديد صدق الله العظيم. We enjoy various ni'mat, various bounties of Allah Tabaraka wa Ta'ala. One very great bounty of Allah Tabaraka wa Ta'ala that we enjoy and we don't even realize that this is such a great bounty of Allah Tabaraka wa Ta'ala that we are connected to Ulama of Haq, and particularly the Akabirin, the predecessors of Ulama of Deoband. These were really great personalities. The Ulama of Deoband, really in this time and in this age, they were the ones that taught us what is Sunnat of Nabi alayhi salam. They taught us how to act upon the Sunnat of Nabi alayhi salam. They taught us what is love for Allah and His Rasul sallallahu alayhi wasallam. All this the Ulama of Deoband, they have taught to us. Particularly Hazrat Maulana Qasim Saheb Nanotwi rahmatullah alayhi. The knowledge that we have today and we are enjoying in the world and in the various darul rooms, in the various maktabs of the world, this is all coming from there. The root and the source of everything is there from Deoband. And we are enjoying in the world. Maulana Qasim Saheb Nanotwi rahmatullah alayhi, when he was a young boy, still a little small boy, at that time he had seen a dream. And the dream that he had seen, he's seen that he's in the lap of Allah Tabaraka wa Ta'ala. We mentioned last week in detail that there is no such a thing where Allah Ta'ala has a body like how we have. لَيْسَ كَمِثْلِهِ شَيْءٍ. There is nothing whatsoever like Allah Tabaraka wa Ta'ala. But this is the dream that he saw. That is in the lap of Allah Tabaraka wa Ta'ala. It is mentioned in the Muqaddamah of the Kitab Nurul Ida that Imam Abu Hanifa rahmatullahi 99 times he saw Allah Tabaraka wa Ta'ala. And on the 100th time when he asked Allah Tabaraka wa Ta'ala, he asked Allah Ta'ala a question. And Allah Tabaraka wa Ta'ala showed him one dua. So nevertheless here also, Maulana Qasim Saheb rahmatullahi, he saw Allah Tabaraka wa Ta'ala. His grandfather was a master in interpreting dreams. So he went to his grandfather and he asked his grandfather that what is the interpretation of this dream. So his grandfather told him that knowledge is going to flow from you. You're going to become a great alim of deen. Later on, when he grew up a little more, then he saw a second dream. And the second dream that he saw, he was on the roof of Kaaba Sharif. And from the roof of Kaaba Sharif, from Maulana Nanotwi rahmatullahi, rivers were flowing from Maulana Nanotwi rahmatullahi. So Maulana Mamluk Ali Saheb rahmatullahi, that was the Ustad of Maulana Qasim Saheb Nanotwi rahmatullahi. So he went to his Ustad Maulana Mamluk Ali Saheb rahmatullahi. And then he asked Maulana Mamluk Ali Saheb rahmatullahi, what is the interpretation of this dream? So he said, Allah is going to bless you with great knowledge. And from you, knowledge is going to flow. All the rivers that are flowing, this is knowledge that will flow from you throughout the four corners of the world. As Hakim Saheb rahmatullahi mentioned, that this love of Allah Tabaraka wa Ta'ala that I have, so much of love of Allah, he had the burning love of Allah, like a kettle. When the kettle is boiling, when it is steaming, it is like it's going to explode any time. So many of these mashayikh, that love for Allah Ta'ala like that kettle that is boiling. So Hazrat Hakim Saheb rahmatullahi used to say that love of Allah Ta'ala that I have, from here how many rivers have flowed. Maulana Yunus Patel Saheb rahmatullahi, that was one river from Hazrat Hakim Saheb rahmatullahi. Maulana Abdul Hamid Saheb Dawud Barakatum, this is another river from Maulana Hazrat Hakim Saheb rahmatullahi. In Bangladesh, Mufti Jafar Saheb, he travels, he got a truck. And the back of the truck, he made it into a bedroom. And then he travels to go and have programs. And wherever he goes, thousands of people there in Bangladesh, they attend his program. Because he's tired, he's teaching the whole day in Darul teaching Bukhari Sharif, so he sleeps in the back of the truck. These are just a few individuals that I'm mentioning. So as I said, that these are rivers that are flowing from me as well. So the love of Allah Ta'ala also is a great thing. This knowledge of deen, Allah Ta'ala had blessed the ulama of Darul Deoband. When it came to love for Nabi alayhi salam, perhaps previously also we'll mention it. And if we mention it another million times more also, it is not enough. Maulana Qasim Saheb Nanotwi rahmatullah, at that time in India, the green shoe, it was regarded as the best shoe that a person could wear. That how beautiful the green shoes they used to bring from Makkah Sharif and Medina Sharif. When they brought the shoe to Hazrat, many people brought this as a gift to Hazrat. Hazrat never wore the shoe, but he would take it and give it away to somebody else as hadiyah. Later on, when they asked Maulana Qasim Saheb Nanotwi rahmatullahi, that Hazrat, that this hadiyah that we bring for you, you don't ever wear the green shoe. What he said? Roza-i-Mubarak. That the Roza-i-Mubarak is green. I must put it under my feet. I cannot do it. Maulana Gangoi rahmatullahi, when he used to go to Haram of Medina Sharif, Maulana Gangoi rahmatullahi used to gather the dust on the wall of Masjidun Nabawi. And then he used to say, this is surma for my eyes. And he used to take it and put it in his eyes. Today you go to Masjidun Nabawi and you touch the wall. They'll tell you that this is bid'ah. Why are you touching the wall? There's no such thing as tabarruk. They understood what was tabarruk. They understood what was love. So he used to take that, so the sand or the dust, and then he used to apply it to his eyes. On one occasion, one person, in those days, when they used to bring khajur from Medina Sharif, Zamzam, you're lucky if you get a small little glass. Today, alhamdulillah, it's coming in big bottles. But nevertheless, somebody brought 3 pieces of khajur for Maulana Gangohi rahmatullahi. Maulana Gangohi rahmatullahi told his khadim, he said, cut it up into pieces and give all my associates that are here, all my murideen that are here. So the khadim said, Hazrat, 3 khajur, and here there are approximately 50 people we're talking about. How much is each person really going to get? What Maulana Gangohi rahmatullahi said, he got very angry. And he said, the khajur of Medina Sharif, even if you get 1 speck of it, then that also it is extremely great. Maulana Qasim Saheb Nanotwi rahmatullahi, what a great alim of deen he was. But what adab and what respect he had. It's mentioned one person, he was no Maulana, no alim, nothing. He went to Maulana Tanvi rahmatullahi in Tanabon. So this person, he had a lot of love for ulama. And this is a great thing. When Allah blesses a person with love for the pious, for love for the ulama, etc., make a lot of shukr to Allah tabaraka wa ta'ala. When people, they don't show respect to ulama, Allah deprives their family of the knowledge of deen, knowledge of Quran, knowledge of hadith. Their children will never attain it. Many a times that person wonders, why can't I get it in my family? But you're not showing respect to the ulama. So Allah Ta'ala has deprived your family. Maulana Salim Saheb Dorat, Maulana Salim Dorat Saheb, that's in England, he mentioned there is one particular area in England. This area in England, he says that the people are doing great khidmat of deen, lot of work of deen they are doing. But in their progeny, not a child is a hafiz of Quran, and not a child is an alim of deen. And then he explained why they don't show respect to ulama. So when you show respect, Allah blesses a person. So this person, a lot of love for ulama. So one day he went to Deoband, and he sat in the majlis of Maulana Qasim Saheb Nanotwi rahmatullahi. After listening to the majlis, after the majlis, Maulana Qasim Saheb Nanotwi rahmatullahi looked at him, and he said, this is a stranger, he is not from here. So he asked him, where have you come from? So he said, no, I came from Tanabon. So immediately Maulana Qasim Saheb rahmatullahi stood up. He became restless. And what he said, you're coming from the area where my sheikh lives, and I didn't stand up for you, I didn't show respect for you. So this is the amount of respect he had for even the place where his sheikh had come from. We heard this also of Allama bin Nori rahmatullahi, that one person came to the home of Allama bin Nori rahmatullahi, he fed that person and he took care of him, made his khidmat, ikram, honored him. And then when he was leaving, he gave a lot of hadiyah, a lot of gift. And he took out his imama and he gave him the imama also as hadiyah. So this person then departed. So the khadim that was serving Allama bin Nori rahmatullahi, he said, Hazrat, that a lot of people come here, ulama also come here. This is not even an alim of deen, but you honored him so much, and then so much of hadiyah you gave him on top of that. And then you gave him all this, your imama, all this you had given him. So what he said that you hear where he has come from. That he said he's coming from Kashmir, and my ustad is Allama Kashmiri rahmatullahi. So really adab also they had to the highest extent. Even though they themselves, they were great mashayikh and great ulama, but when it came to adab for the next person, just as a human being also, they respected the next person. It is mentioned Islam, when it came to correcting other people, what hikmat, what wisdom Allah Ta'ala had given them. There was one Patan Saheb that used to come every Friday to the home of Maulana Nanotwi rahmatullahi. And he used to come there and take ghusl. But when he used to leave home, he used to bring one set of clothing with him. After taking ghusl, he would put on that set of clothing, and then he would go to Maulana Nanotwi rahmatullahi for the Jumu'ah Salah. So the clothing that he used to wear was against Sharia. So now it was the duty of Maulana Qasim Saheb rahmatullahi to correct this person, that the clothing that you are wearing is not correct. But he didn't just correct that person that, oh, how can you wear such clothing? Change your clothing. Maulana Nanotwi rahmatullahi knew he was Patan. And the Patan, his temperament also is a bit hard. So he's not going to just accept. If you reprimand him, he could fight you back as well. So Maulana had to think that how can I correct him? So Maulana Nanotwi rahmatullahi, after some time, he told him, see, next Friday, when you're coming for the Jumu'ah Salah, then I want you to bring 2 sets of clothing. I have a lot of love for you, and you love me also very much. We will wear same matching clothing, and we'll wear the same clothing, and we'll go for Jumu'ah Salah. So Patan started thinking now. And he said that the clothing that I'm wearing, how can Hazrat Nanotwi rahmatullahi wear that clothing? So he in turn told Hazrat Nanotwi rahmatullahi, he said, Hazrat, I have a lot of love for you and you have a lot of love for me. So let's do this, that next Friday when I come, I'm not going to bring any clothing. I will take, you give me 1 set of your clothing, I will take ghusl. and then we go for Jumu'ah Salah in the clothing that you wear. So he wore Hazrat Nanotwi Rahmatullah's clothing. Finished. Once he wore it, he made tawbah to Allah Ta'ala. Never again he went back to his clothing. For the rest of his life, he wore the clothing of Maulana Nanotwi Rahmatullah. These Akabirin were such people. Even the kuffar were not deprived of their blessing. Maulana Nanotwi Rahmatullah, his neighbor was a Hindu. And this Hindu person had a grocery store. All the groceries for the home of Maulana Nanotwi Rahmatullah used to come from the Hindu person's shop. So when the Hindu person passed away, then Maulana Nanotwi Rahmatullah seen the dream that he's in Jannah. So he asked him, he said, how you got to Jannah? You were a Hindu person. So he said that this was the barakat of Maulana Qasim Saheb Nanotwi Rahmatullah. So then he explained, he said at the time of Maut, when I was about to pass away, the Malaika hadn't yet come to extract my ruh. So at that time I was going through a little bit of difficulty. So all the family that were around him, they said, just say what Maulana Qasim Saheb Rahmatullah says. Meaning, he talks about kalima. He recites kalima. So you also recite the same kalima. So he said, at that time I recited kalima. The Hindus used to believe that if any person is suffering at the time of death, and they have to recite kalima, although they're Hindu, but they recite kalima, the ruh leaves the body with ease. So he said, you recite kalima also. He recited kalima and he went to Jannah. Maulana Qasim Saheb Nanotwi Rahmatullah, it is mentioned in Tazkiratul Rashid that when the Salana Jalsa, the yearly Jalsa of Ulama of Deoband was taking place, look at what taqwa they had, what piety. We can't imagine this. In today's time, we cannot even fathom where Allah Ta'ala had taken them. When the Salana Jalsa, the yearly annual Jalsa was taking place, Maulana Qasim Saheb Rahmatullah came for the Asr Salah. When he entered the masjid for the Asr Salah, we can imagine for a Jalsa how many thousands today, Ulama of Deoband, just in the final year there's 1,000 students that are sitting. So thousands of people perhaps came for the Jalsa. So it was time for Salah, Asr time had already come in, was time for Jamaat. Maulana Yaqub Saheb Nanotwi Rahmatullah went on to the Musalla and he started the Asr Salah. So Maulana Qasim Saheb Rahmatullah is still making salam with people and it's coming from to his place to perform Salah. By the time he reached there, already the Qiraat had started. It was the first rakat. But just that the Qiraat had started. So he came, he commenced his Salah and then he finished his Salah. When he finished his Salah, he sat in one place and he just grieved and he grieved. He got Takbir-e-Ula because he was still in the first rakat. Right? The easy view is that right up to the time a person goes into ruku, you got Takbir-e-Ula. Although the best is when the Imam says Allahu Akbar, at that time we say it. So he got Takbir-e-Ula, but he was grieved. He was in so much of sorrow. And at that time he was just saying to himself, 22 years of my life, I never missed Takbir-e-Ula with the Imam Sahib. And today, at this time of my life, I have missed the Takbir-e-Ula with Imam Sahib. First time I missed Takbir-e-Ula in 22 years. When I mentioned this incident once when I was in Azadwal, Maulana Yusuf Gundiwala Sahib, Damat Barakatum, he came to me after the Fajr Salah. And then he told me that there was a person that was in Ispingo Beach, Haji Abdul Haq Desai Sahib. And mashallah, he was a Khalifa. He wasn't an Alim of Deen also, but he was a Khalifa of Maulana Abrar al-Haq Sahib Hardoi Rahmatullah. Maulana Abrar al-Haq Sahib Rahmatullah, he never used to make anyone his murid also. That's how strict Maulana was. But he gave Haji Abdul Haq Desai Sahib, he gave him Khilafat also, that he was his murid. And when we were small, when we used to go there, when he comes from the Isha Salah, after Isha Salah he's gone to sleep. 2:30 in the morning, he's up for Tahajjud Namaz. It is mentioned from the age of 18, Maulana Gundiwala then told me, he said from the age of 18, right up to the age of 92, he passed away now, last COVID, 92. From 18 years old right to 92 years old, he never missed his Takbir-e-Ula. If you ever wanted to find him, just go into the Ispingo Beach Masjid and you'll find him sitting right there behind the Imam Sahib in the first saf. Now before he passed away, Allah gave me the tawfiq. One day when I was in Ispingo, I went to visit him. And he was there in the masjid. I didn't have to go to his house also. Just went to the masjid and I met him there in the masjid. So this is how it is mentioned when this COVID took place. Level 5 or level 4, whatever it must have been. But throughout the entire COVID period, he was 5 times a day in the masjid and he performed salah with Jamaat in the masjid. Allah give us tawfiq. So these were the ulama of Deoband. Really appreciate them. Make shukr to Allah. Allah has connected us to the right ulama. Allah has connected us to those ulama that are from the Ahlus Sunnah wal Jama'ah, that will guide other people to Allah Tabaraka wa Ta'ala. I'll just finish up on this, that there was one alim that was from Yemen, Allama Ali Yamani Rahmatullah alayh. So it is mentioned this alim, Allama Alan, one particular alim who was a student at that time, Maulana Muhammad Anwar, La'il Puri, he was a student in Ulama of Deoband. He mentioned this particular incident, that Allama Ali Yamani Rahmatullah alayh, he was from Yemen. But before that, he was from Misr. And he was Hafiz al-Hadith. Today you get Hafiz al-Quran. But perhaps in our country, we haven't found Hafiz al-Hadith. So he had memorized the kitabs of Hadith. So this Allama Ali Yamani rahmatullah alayh, he taught in Misr also. He was a Misri. But then he moved over to Yemen. So he came to Bombay. When he came to Bombay, then he decided, let me go to Randeer Madrasa. So he went to the madrasa in Randeer. When he went to the madrasa in Randeer, he met Mufti Mahdi Ali Saheb. Mufti Mahdi Saheb, the Dawud Barakatum wa rahmatullah alayh, I don't know whether he's still living. So he met him. So Mufti Mahdi Saheb, now he starts talking to him about the Ulama of Deoband. But he was from Yemen, he was an Arab ulama, alim. So he was not interested in finding out about all this Ulama of Deoband and who the Akabirin of Deoband are and all this. He wasn't interested in all this matter. So this didn't really entertain him. But nevertheless, he finished with Mufti Mahdi Saheb, and thereafter he decided, let me go to Delhi. In Delhi, there was a person that was Ahle Hadith, Ghair Muqallid, what we know. They don't follow Imam Abu Hanifa or Imam Shafi, Imam Malik, Ghair Muqallid, Ahle Hadith. So he went to Delhi. When he went to Delhi, this person, his name was Maulvi Abdul Wahab, I think. He was going to host him. So he went to him and he hosted him. But as he stayed there, they got into an argument. So the argument was about the times of namaz. This person said something about the time of namaz, and then this Allama said something about the time of namaz, and they had a dispute, and then he left from there. But he was very upset, he was very hurt that this was supposed to be my host, and he got into an argument with me just on the namaz times, and then I had to leave. So he went and he stayed a few days somewhere in Delhi. So somebody told him in Delhi, why you such a great Allama, why don't you go to Darul Deoband and visit Darul Deoband? He wasn't interested. Why? He was from a Hanbali. So he said that these people, Ahle Hadith, they're more closer, more in line with the Hanbali people. He said those are Hanafi people. They're not going to even accept me when I go to Darul Deoband. But nevertheless, this person insisted. He said, no, you must go to Darul Deoband. So he accepted. He said, all right, fine, let me go to Darul Deoband. So he went to Deoband. When he went to Darul Deoband, Maulana Habibur Rahman Uthmani rahmatullahi, when he saw him, he accepted him. He didn't know him, who this person is. But he welcomed him, he accepted him, embraced him. And there were some Yemeni students that were studying in Darul Deoband at that time. So Maulana Habibur Rahman Uthmani rahmatullahi told him, he said that, see, this Yemeni person has come, you all take care of him, you all look after him whilst he's in the madrasa. So they took care of him, they whatever his needs was, they fulfilled his needs, etc. Then after 2 days, Allama Ali Yamani rahmatullahi, what he said that really Allah, it's amazing how Allah tabaraka wa ta'ala had blessed the ulama of Deoband with such akhlaq and with such character. I've never seen such akhlaq. He said they don't even know me, but I've come here as a stranger, and how they embraced me and how they accepted me and how they have taken care of me. So he was really impressed. When one of the Yemeni students heard this, so the Yemeni student told him that is the akhlaq of the ulama of Deoband. Do you even know what knowledge Allah Ta'ala has blessed the ulama of Deoband with? So he said, can't be. You're talking of knowledge. Knowledge is in the Arab world. There's no such thing as knowledge over here in India and Pakistan. This is amongst the Arabs. So just at that time, the magazine of Darul Deoband had come out. In the magazine of Darul Deoband, Allama Kashmiri rahmatullahi, he had written some poetry in regards to Maulana Abdul Rahim Saheb Raipuri rahmatullahi. Abdul Rahim Saheb Raipuri rahmatullahi was the Khalifa of Hazrat Gangohi rahmatullahi. So he had written some poetry. So they brought the magazine and they gave him to read the poetry. When he read the poetry, he said, this is the poetry of pre-Islamic era. When that time, when in the days of Jahiliyyah, what poetry they used to write. They were the masters of poetry. That is what Allah Ta'ala gave Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam Quran Sharif, to combat poetry. So he said that this is the poetry that is written here. So then the Yemeni student told him, he said, see, the man that wrote this poetry, he is one of the ustads of the madrasa. He's teaching Bukhari Sharif here, and he's teaching Tirmizi Sharif. That is the kitabs that are taught in the final year. Big kitabs, Bukhari and Tirmizi Sharif. So he said that, okay, I want to sit in his dars. I want to sit in his lesson. So they said, no problem, come to the class. So they took him to the class. So when they came to the class, at that time, for the ulama will enjoy this part, that he was talking of Allama ibn Taymiyyah. And what were the objections of Allama Taymiyyah rahmatullahi, and what were the answers to the objections of Allama Taymiyyah rahmatullahi. But Maulana Allama Kashmiri rahmatullahi, when he saw that Allama Yemeni has come, he's from Yemen, where is he going to understand Urdu? He started speaking fluent Arabic. He gave the whole lesson now in Arabic. So this person stayed there for 1 week. After 1 week, then he left the lessons of Allama Kashmiri rahmatullahi. So he tells those students, he said that, listen to me, that I came here And let me tell you something, that I'm really amazed that what knowledge Allah Ta'ala has blessed Allama Kashmiri rahmatullahi alayhi. He says that many a times I tried to silence Allama Kashmiri rahmatullahi alayhi. He says I was unable to silence. He had an answer for every question of mine. This is the knowledge Allah Ta'ala has blessed Allama Kashmiri rahmatullahi alayhi. And then he said something. What he said? That if I have to take a qasam, لو حلفت بأنه بأعلم من أبي حنيفة ما حنست. That if I have to take a qasam and if I have to say that this man got more knowledge than Imam Abu Hanifa rahmatullahi alayhi, then I would have been regarded as one that has fulfilled my qasam and never broke my qasam. Later on, Allama Kashmiri rahmatullahi found out what Allama Yamani rahmatullahi said. When he found out what Allama Yamani rahmatullahi said, Allama, look at the humbleness. Where was his position? Here, Arab is saying that he's higher than Imam Abu Hanifa rahmatullahi. He went to the students after Asr and he stopped the students. And he said, listen, I'm nowhere near Imam Abu Hanifa rahmatullahi. The knowledge of Imam Saheb, the ijtihad, where he extracted laws directly from Quran and Hadith. What was his position? I can't come close to him. With Maulana Abdul Razak Saheb, that was in Ladysmith. Maulana Abdul Razak, he studied in Ulama of Deoband. And he was a student, direct student of Maulana Hussain Ahmad Madni rahmatullahi. In the final year class, Maulana Abdul Razak Saheb, he came out first. In Deoband, he came out first in those days. And after that, he became, so to say, a liberal alim. He went thereafter to Azhar University and he studied in Azhar. And not only did he study in Azhar, but he lectured in Azhar also. And wherever there was a need for translation in the Arabic language, Maulana Abdul Razak Saheb, he used to translate in the Arabic language. He was a very, very senior alim and very, very learned, very well versed in the Arabic language. It is mentioned in the end of the life of Maulana Abdul Razak Saheb. Hazrat Abdul Hamid Saheb, Nawad Barakatuh, he went to visit him. And when he went to visit him, he was sitting there. He said, see, he told Abdul Hamid Saheb, he said, see, that I stayed with the ulama or the Arab ulama. I stayed in Azhar. I lectured in Azhar. So I got a lot of experience with the Arabs. But let me tell you something. This is in the end of his life he's saying this. He said that what knowledge Allah Ta'ala has given the Ulama of Deoband. He said, this knowledge and Ushri Ashir. Ushri Ashir hasn't even been given to the Arab ulama. Meaning not even a fraction of it the Arab ulama have got. What Allah Ta'ala has blessed the great ulama of Deoband with. Really Allah Ta'ala has really blessed us. But we don't understand this bounty of Allah Ta'ala. What a great ni'mat of Allah. Sheikh Subayyid, I think his name was. He was the elderly imam of the haram of Makkatul Mukarramah. And to very late in his life, he continued making imamat. He used to perform the Isha namaz as long as I remember. He used to make the Isha namaz. So one day, one alim from Deoband had come to his house. So they were sitting and they were discussing. So while they were discussing, it so happened that one Arab alim came there to the house. So when the Arab alim came there, so he said, oh, this is a Deobandi, these are qabr pujaris, meaning they worship graves and things of that sort. Sheikh Subayyid, who was the Imam of the Haram, what he said? He said, you don't know these people. These are muwahhids. They believe in the oneness of Allah Tabaraka wa Ta'ala. And when you say that the qabr pujari, what it means? Kufr. Person makes shirk with Allah Ta'ala. They are worshipping the qabr. So he said, if you saying that he is qabr pujari, and this is kufr, then say 2/3 of the world are all kafir. Because 2/3 of the world, they followers of Imam Sahib rahmatullahi, and somehow or the other, they are connected to Deoband. That is why Sheikh Awama, Damat Barakatum, he is now in Turkey, very elderly, over 80 years, going close to 90 years of age now. Sheikh Awama, a few years ago, he had a conference in Azadwal. And what he called it, Maulana Qasim Nanotwi's conference, where he wanted to prove to the whole world that what is the position of the ulama of Deoband. Really, we don't understand their position, but make shukr to Allah Ta'ala that our ulama, they are doing great work, alhamdulillah. Wherever you go in the world, in the various parts of the world, few parts where Allah gave us the tawfiq to travel, we found that they say that we want our students to go to the madrasas that are the sources, or not the sources actually, that are from Darul Deoband. That are the branches of Darul Deoband. Because we find that these ulama, they make the most amount of khidmat of deen. Allah Ta'ala give us all tawfiq and understand. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. اللهم صل على سيدنا مولانا محمد وعلى آل سيدنا مولانا محمد وبارك وسلم فاذكروني أذكركم أنا جليس من ذكرني दिल मेरा हो जाए एक मैदान तू ही तो हो और मेरे तन में बजाए आब वगिल दर्द दिल हो दर्द दिल गैर से बिल्कुल उठ जाए नजर तू कोई तो आए न दर देखो जिधर ला इलाहा इल्लल्लाह मुहम्मदुर रसूलुल्लाह सल्लल्लाहु अलैहि वसल्लम ला इलाहा इल्लल्लाह 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 لا إله إلا الله لا إله إلا الله محمد رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم इलाही दिल में मेरे गैर का असर न रहे सिवाय तेरे किसी पर मेरी नजर न रहे तू कर बेखबर सारी खबरों से मुझको इलाही रहूं एक खबरदार तेरा لا إله إلا الله 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 محمد رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم अल्लाह अल्लाह कैसा प्यारा नाम है आशिकों का मीना और जाम है अल्लाह जल जलालुहु ताला शानुहु अल्लाह 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 चे शीरीन सनाम शीर व शक्कर मी शवद जानम तमाम अल्लाह 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 कुल्लु मन अलैहा फान ويبقى وجه ربك ذو الجلال والإكرام الله 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 اللهم لك الحمد كله ولك الشكر كله ولك الملك كله وإليك يرجع الأمر كله اللهم لا نحصي ثناء عليك أنت كما أثنيت على نفسك اللهم صل على سيدنا مولانا محمد كلما ذكره الذاكرون وكلما غفل عن ذكره الغافلون اللهم ربنا تقبل منا إنك أنت السميع العليم وتب علينا يا مولانا إنك أنت التواب الرحيم جزا الله عنا محمدا صلى الله عليه وسلم بما هو أهله سبحان ربك رب العزة عما يصفون وسلام على المرسلين والحمد لله